A conference of more than 500 educators here in the state of Ohio, but uncertainty lingers as federal cuts to the Department of Education threaten special education here in Ohio. Educators like Jill Blanchard have dedicated their lives to students with special needs, leading an autism and emotional support school in Columbus.
I think the biggest thing that I'm seeing is that it's only getting bigger, right? That the need is only more every day.
The 7th annual Aim Higher Workforce and Education Conference strengthening relationships between businesses and educators.
It's really important that we start to bridge that gap between the work we do in special education and the need of the workforce in Ohio.
The conference coming amid worry and uncertainty. This week, a federal judge pausing the Department of Education's layoffs of the majority of its special education department. But here in Ohio, Department of Education Director Steve Dakin says funding is steady.
So far for us in Ohio, we're getting the funding that we need in our title programs, our IDA programs. Perkins we're working on a little bit because as they transition to the Department of Labor. Otherwise than that, with respect to Ohio, it's kind of business as usual right now. Now, who knows what happens if this gets elongated.
Director Dakin says lingering federal cuts is a concern the state of Ohio is currently avoiding.
Ultimately, one of the things that the federal government's working on right now is to return flexibility to the states. We're ultimately responsible for all kids in this state, and so we have the authority to deal with that. The funding is there, and we'll continue to implement the funding as intended.
Superintendents like Blanchard keeping a close eye on threats to special education amid the federal government shutdown, as the focus always surrounds the success of students.
Again, we'd figure it out and we'd make sure we have the staff we need for our students, just like everywhere else.